Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 2 of our series on how to create the best, most professional resume you can. I'm going to go here starting on our Teams page to one of my classes for career writing. And I'm going to go to the assignment that I just posted about our resume planning guide. So if you've watched the previous video, you should have learned about some of what a resume is and some of the do's and don'ts of how to create a resume, so that you can have the most professional looking resume to apply for your future dream job. And so we're using all the information that we did in the first 2 job applications and using that to put it all into one document that shows off your best abilities. And your whole goal is to get your dream career, so it's kind of wowing your future boss. Now, I'll have this posted on our channel. If you're watching this, you're probably already watched part 1. Good for you. I want to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. I've got 2 things here. I've got my example, which I'll show you in a minute, and then I've got the student copy. So for this activity, you only need to fill out this planning guide. And there are 6 sections of it. It's worth 50 points, so it's a good chunk of change. And what I suggest is editing the document in the desktop app. That way you can save a copy here. But if you also want to edit in browser, you can, and it'll save a copy online for you. Okay. Now for this one, darn it. See, this one might actually not let you do that. So I might have to go edit in desktop app, and then it's going to open up in Microsoft Word, just like this, and then you should be able to fill in all the blanks like that. So as you guys watch this video and I show you my example, I suggest that you guys pull this up on Microsoft Word, the app, and that way you'll be able to fill it in. And you can go to File, Save a Copy. That way you can go and save a copy on your computer for future reference. This is going to be one of the most important things that you want to save a copy of, so I really suggest that you do that before proceeding. Okay, let me look at my example now, and let me go over the directions, and I'll lead you through each section. It says complete all 6 sections with your information in as much detail as possible. Then you can copy and paste these details onto your final resume, just in a slightly different format. Use the examples provided and use your resources, especially the job applications and the transferable skills chart. Okay, now if you watched the previous video, you're going to know that you need to include at least 5 sections on every resume. Your header, your objective, education, experience, and skills, and this last one is optional. So on our planning guide, I've completed those 5 sections as well. The first one is your header, which just has all of your personal information in it. I'm not going to go over that. Just make sure that you use your school email instead of like Naruto lover with 5 R's at hotmail.com, because you want it to look professional. For section 2, you have 2 options. You can be more simple and just go with the objective here. Excuse me. And just go with the objective here, just to obtain a career as a blank. Remember, this is your dream career. That's far in the future. It might be automotive engineer, it might be pediatrician, it might be English teacher. Right? Just put whatever your future dream career is. Now, if you want to be fancy, you can go with option number 2, but remember you can choose either or. You can do a summary. So notice that it has the same goal, English teacher, but this one's a longer, more fancy way to say it. It includes skills and attributes. It includes some experience, and it includes your goal. So this one is like a really... It's like if the boss reads this one at the top, they almost don't have to read the rest of it because you already told them what to do. But remember, if you want to be simple, just choose option 1. For section 3, this is your education, and I want to make sure you guys know that it goes most recent first. So the college, if you guys need college for your future career, goes first, and the high school goes second. So for college, of course, I need a bachelor's degree to get an English teacher, to become an English teacher. So I'm going to put the college that I went to, University of California, Santa Barbara. You guys just put whatever college that you want to go to become your dream career, okay? You put your major. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to your future job, but it suggests it should. Your graduation year, of course, is going to be different than mine. It's going to be far in the future whenever you're going to graduate college. And your GPA, you can just make it up for now, make up a high number because you guys are going to do good in school. Now, when it says relevant classes, that means everything that's related to your future career. If I put like a random biology class that I took my freshman year, that's not related to being an English teacher. I'm going to put stuff that's related to education, that's related to child development, that's related to literature, linguistics. Those are all related to being an English teacher. Remember, it's all coming together here on one page. And the same for high school. You guys are going to put Cesar Chavez High School. Your graduation year is 2023 for most of you. Your GPA, aim on the high side. And then relevant classes. Of course, if I'm going to be an English teacher, I'm going to put things about English. Or maybe I joined the journalism club, or I can join the Get Lit Poetry Club. So it has to be relevant to being your future career. All right, section 4 is the most involved, so that one's going to take the most time to explain. Again, notice that it starts with most recent job and then older job, because it always goes the most recent first. That's kind of a general rule for resumes. Now, remember how we just did 2 job applications on Teams as your assignment? This older job here at the bottom, this is from job application number 1. So if you said you wanted to be a cashier at Walmart, for me, I actually worked as a server at the Elks Lodge, so that's what I said is my job application number 1. This is your basic job as a high school senior. Now, this one here is what you chose on job application number 2, your entry-level job for your future career. So the entry-level job that relates to my future career, I chose as substitute teacher because, again, it doesn't require that much education, but it's still leading me to get the skills that I need to become an English teacher someday. So I'm going to give you an overview of these 2 are real examples from my life, but you guys just choose the ones that you did on job application number 1 and then job application number 2. Okay, I'm going to start with job application number 1. So I'm actually going to start at the bottom here since that's what we did first. Now, the first job that I applied for in my life was a server at the Elks Lodge here in Delano. I worked there actually like my senior year, between my junior and senior year of college, during the summers and a little bit on weekends, and I worked in Delano. Now it says description of specific tasks using active verbs and professional language. Okay, now let's look at a bad example. I served food. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything specific. That doesn't tell me anything professional. Or I gave customers the food that they ordered. Well, what's wrong with that, you might be asking? First of all, look at this. I misspelled customers. If you misspell anything, that is a huge red flag. Spelling and grammar matters. Because if they see that you mess up on something like a resume, then that's going to tell them that you don't check your work, that you're lazy, and that they shouldn't hire you, right? So you want to first of all make sure they didn't do that. Second of all, this is just a long way to say nothing, right? If you want a better example, you can say, I prepared food for banquet guests with attention to detail. It's still using active verbs. I'm telling me something about myself that's good. Or I provided high levels of customer service while ensuring that guests' needs were met. That's telling them that I'm a helpful person, that I have good customer service skills, that I am excellent, high levels of customer service. So that's a better way of saying I just served food. Now, it's even better when you get up to substitute teacher. I mean, you could just say that I taught kids, or I substituted, oh, look at that grammar mistake again, when the teacher wasn't, oh, look, they used the wrong kind of there. Or I substituted for the teacher when the teacher wasn't there. Well, duh, but what did you actually do? They want to know specific things in professional language. So I instructed and supervised students in a variety of subject matters and class sizes. I supervised behavior. I enforced teachers' classroom management, maintained a patient enthusiastic attitude when helping students. I'm using active verbs and using clear descriptive language. All right, so if you're not sure where to get this stuff from, remember that you have all that career research that you did on California Career Zone and in the workbook. So go back to there if you're not sure and go and do some research. Literally, I Googled, what does a substitute teacher do? What does a server do? How do I put it on a resume? And Google has some amazing resources and ways that you can put it into words. And honestly, that's what everybody does and how you start. So you can kind of start with Google and then make it your own and make it sound more like you personally. Okay, so section 4, again, it takes the most time and energy. Section 5 is about your skills and abilities. This one is pretty easy because you can directly copy it over from your transferable skills chart as long as you did the transferable skills chart. Now, if you didn't do it, your job's going to be harder because you have to brainstorm all these skills. I'm just going to give you a few examples. General skills might be something like active listening or reading comprehension or writing, organization. Social skills might be like collaboration or instruction. Language skills might be like I am bilingual in English and Spanish, or English and Tagalog, or English and French. And then career-specific skills could be like classroom management or knowledge of linguistics. Now, computer skills, something like I know how to use Microsoft Office, or I know how to use a smartboard. All of those could apply. You don't have to list all of them. These are just a bunch of examples, but list as many as you can think of. Now, section 6, this is where you have a couple of options, and I'd like you to do one of each for this example. You can do an award and honor, or you can do an accomplishment. For example, if you were ever in honor roll, if you got an award for Salute to Scholars Night, you can say that I got honor roll for a number of semesters in high school or college, or you can make up that you got a scholarship to a certain college. This is actually one that I did get, and it's the type of scholarship where you have to keep a certain GPA in order to keep the money. So being able to do that is a huge accomplishment, to keep that GPA up for 4 years in college. So you can do one of those kind of honors, or you can do something for sports. Oopsie. You can do something for sports, or clubs, or music, if you've ever accomplished something. If you were in band when they won a championship, if you were in a sport when they won a valley championship, that can be a huge accomplishment as well. Now, extracurriculars, that's also another place where you can put sports or clubs or music. For example, I've done a lot of stuff on music, and I did some leadership experience with that as well. So extracurriculars, again, could be any stuff that you did in school. For volunteering, like for me, I actually helped out the choir at Early Mart when they were first getting started with Miss Drum back in the day. So I was a volunteer choir conductor with that. I didn't actually get paid for it, but I can still put it on a resume. And leadership experience could be I was president of a music group in college, or that I was an MVP on a sports team, or maybe another officer of a club, right? And then another extracurricular that might relate to being an English teacher, I was a writer on the newspaper back when I was in high school, Delano High. So anything that you think might be related, and even if you don't think it's related, as long as it shows that you have leadership. They really want to see people that are not just good at academics, but are well-rounded. So please just make sure you pick one of each of these. So just one of each category. And once you have completed all 6 sections, then you are done with this planning guide and you are ready to put it all together in a professional looking resume.